Good afternoon and welcome. This is really our Founders Day. We are celebrating 50 years of creating transformational leaders to serve the state of Ohio in healthcare. And this is a big moment. You don't get to turn 50 more than once, and we have a really great university to be able to celebrate. I do need to take some time to recognize some people because it doesn't just take a village. In the case of the development of NEOMED, it took 3 villages or more: Akron, Kent, Canton, Youngstown, and the leadership across the state to allow this university to be developed and to thrive. So a few special guests tonight, although everyone in this room is special and we're thrilled that you're here. Dr. James Boex, who is the first Assistant Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs, and his spouse, Dr. Denise Gibson. Mrs. Dorothy Jones. I had the opportunity to meet Dorothy recently. Dorothy and her husband owned this piece of property that was a farm at one point. In fact, NEOMED through the state acquired this, and because of their generosity in allowing us to take this piece of land, have been able to build this program that you see before you today, and that transformation has been spectacular. Mr. Richard Lewis, former Vice Provost of Administration and Public Affairs. He retired as Vice President of Government Relations and was the Secretary to the Board of Trustees. Dr. Mark Savickas, as a graduate student, Mark worked with Dr. Glenn Saltzman, a name that many people know here from our founding past, to develop what is now known as the Wasson Center for Clinical Skills Assessment. Dr. Phil Westerman, inaugural faculty, assistant professor of molecular pathology and biology at the university. I'd also like to recognize current and past members of our Board of Trustees and of our foundation. Dr. Doug Beach, who is currently a Board of Trustee member and is also the board chairman. Dr. Gary Batante, who is really a big friend to the university, have served on the foundation board, and he and his brother, Dr. David Batante, were critical in the Batante gift to allow us to launch a college of dentistry here at the university. And of course, I also want to recognize Dr. Batante's spouse, Mary Jo Rothermel. So thank you also for being here. Bill Considine, who is also a former trustee, who is here with his wife Becky, or is a current trustee and is here with his wife Becky. Dr. Chander Coley and his spouse Karen Coley. Dr. Coley served 2 full terms on the Board of Trustees and is also our distinguished university professor of neurosurgery. Dr. Stephen Schmidt. Dr. Schmidt was on the trustees in the past and then came to work for the university and recently retired as our now past Dean of the College of Graduate Studies and was also our Vice President for Research. Brian Shirkla, former NEOMED Foundation Board Chair. David Connick, who's on the NEOMED Foundation Board. And of course, Mr. Rick McQueen, who was on the NEOMED Board until recently, the Board of Trustees, and in fact served as the chairman for me during the last year of his tenure. I'd also like to thank our elected officials, many of whom have given NEOMED proclamations. Some of those you'll see on the table next to us to support NEOMED through the years and through our future. U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, Congresswoman Shontel Brown, Congressman Bill Johnson, Congressman Max Miller, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, Ohio Lieutenant Governor John Husted, Ohio's Attorney General David Yost, Ohio's Secretary of State Frank LaRose, Ohio Auditor of State Keith Faber, Ohio Treasurer Robert Sprague, and a special thank you to our legislator, Ohio State Representative Gail Pavliga. I also want to welcome Monique Moore, Northeast Ohio's liaison, for Governor Mike DeWine, who is here with us today. Northeast Ohio Medical University was officially chartered on what will be Thanksgiving this year, 50 years ago in 1973. At that time, we were developed to serve Northeast Ohio communities, to provide a healthcare workforce, initially as Northeast Ohio Universities, plural, College of Medicine. We had 3 universities that this then college reported to. That was Kent State, University of Akron, and Youngstown State. Since that time, we have grown dramatically. We've gone from being a college serving 3 universities to a standalone independent university with now 4 colleges. Our very first class started in 1977, and that group crossed the threshold to receive their medical diplomas. In 1981, there were 42 of them. We now have 5,611 graduates, doctors of pharmacy, of medicine, PhDs, researchers, educators, and other healthcare professionals now leaving our ranks, most of them staying to serve the communities here in Ohio. This university has grown dramatically in its first 50 years, and we are continuing to do so now. We are really thrilled to be able to continue to grow programs to address the healthcare needs, and we are the state's only health and sciences university, and we are purely graduate, focused on master's degree and above. We don't know what our next 50 years hold, but I'm certain it's going to continue to grow with significant growth and doing our major mission, which is continuing to serve the communities of Ohio by producing amazing professionals. We can't do this alone. We depend on key people from across our internal platform and our partners. Outstanding administrators, past and present, amazing faculty members, world-class faculty members, past and present, all of them coming together to shape the minds of our students and to watch those students leave our doors and to outdo us as they too become transformational leaders and change the world around them for the benefit of not only our communities, but those who spread across the entire United States, many of them stepping up into significant leadership positions. I want to thank all of you. I salute all of you, current and past, who've been involved in developing this amazing university and getting us to where we are today. This is a collaborative event, and it takes all of us. I'm going to now turn this over to Dr. Joe Zarconi. I know Dr. Zarconi really does not need an introduction because everybody knows him. Dr. Zarconi graduated in our inaugural class in 1981. He has watched this university thrive and transform over the years, and after graduating and training and practicing, came back to be a key faculty member, in fact, described by many as our most beloved faculty member over the years by students. And that's a big pull because we have amazing faculty at this university. Dr. Zarconi is a key member of our team and now serves as Professor of Internal Medicine. Dr. Zarconi, will you please come take the lectern?
Thank you for those kind words, Dr. Langell. I like that you started by saying we would keep this short and then you introduced me. I'll be brief. I was a pre-veterinary medicine student at Youngstown State when I heard about some new medical school they were planning to build in a foreign country called Rootstown. So I applied, and I'm so glad I did. I first set foot on this property as a 19-year-old boy. And I remember looking off to the north and to the south and to the east and to the west and seeing cornfields and cornfields. Also erected there was a little stage for that groundbreaking ceremony, and I'm so excited to hear Dorothy Jones's name because I still remember to this day Dorothy and her husband seated proudly up there as the people who donated this property. And Dorothy, if you're here, I want you to know that as a member of the charter class, I've never forgotten what you and your husband did. At that groundbreaking, they told us they were going to build our futures. It was such a leap of faith. Now, 48 years into my relationship with this place, 50 years from its founding, I'm really honored to have been invited to reflect on this important moment in NEOMED's evolution. Who I am doesn't really matter, but what I am and what and whom I represent is where, at least for me, the meaning lies in my standing here. I stand here in many ways as a reflection of the three universities who came together because they wanted a new medical school in Northeast Ohio. I stand here as a reflection of the hospitals and health systems and pharmacies and health professional practices who have over all these years welcomed us as learners and inspired us as future healthcare professionals. I stand here as a reflection of the courage and vision of many legislators, university presidents, hospital CEOs, teaching physicians, and perhaps most significantly, as a reflection of two amazing visionaries, Dr. Stanley Olson, our charter provost, and Dr. Robert Liebel, our charter dean. Just yesterday, Rod Ingram and I had the opportunity to visit with Dr. Liebel, who at the age of 96 still likes to talk about the awesome and honored privilege of serving suffering people. I only wish he could have been here with us today, but he sends his sense of pride